What do a Polish immigrant selling belts in New York and the founder of the world's largest social network have in common? It's not just success. It's an age-old code. History has shown us how titanic fortunes have been built from nothing. Men and women who rose from poverty with nothing but their ingenuity and an indomitable spirit. And if you look closely, a surprising number of these stories share a common origin: the Jewish people. This is no coincidence. Orthodox Judaism is not just a religion, it's a culture of prosperity. A roadmap that, for thousands of years, has prioritized financial education, hard work, and community development. Today, that roadmap is within your reach. We've distilled thousands of years of wisdom into the 5 most powerful habits of the Jewish people for wealth generation. Stay tuned until the end. If you apply these principles, I promise your finances won't just improve, they'll be transformed. This is what financial gurus don't dare tell you. From their origins in the people of Israel to their diaspora and presence in every corner of the world, Jews have been architects of empires. No matter where they settle, their success is a constant phenomenon. But why? Because their culture has codified wealth as a moral obligation and a tool for survival. To grasp the magnitude of this, let's look at the names. These aren't just stories from 100 years ago, they are the backbone of the modern economy. Think about it: Mark Zuckerberg, the face of Facebook; Sergey Brin and Larry Page, the founders of Google, the tool you use every day. In fashion, Calvin Klein and Ralph Lauren defined the aesthetic of generations. In finance, the legendary investor George Soros. And of course, the man who personified wealth like no other, the 19th-century oil tycoon and the richest man in history, John D. Rockefeller, of Jewish descent and a fierce believer in financial discipline. This list is not a coincidence. It is proof that a system exists. Jewish prosperity is cultivated through social and cultural practices that emphasize knowledge, community, and self-discipline. Forget luck, this is applied social science. Are you ready to unpack the first pillar of this financial architecture? Habit number 1, live below average to save. The most misunderstood, yet most powerful, formula for building wealth. Savings aren't what you have left over, they're the first thing to go. If you don't have a surplus of money, the only answer is simple, but painful: lower your standard of living. For a young Jew, especially in adverse environments, austerity isn't an option, it's a mantra. This means limiting vanity expenses, drastically reducing leisure, unnecessary distractions, and expensive meals. It's an approach that prioritizes future capital over immediate gratification. Jews understand that every dollar saved is a soldier that can be sent onto the battlefield of investment. Think of John D. Rockefeller. His mother, of Jewish descent, instilled in him from childhood an almost religious sense of austerity. He was taught to be meticulous with every penny. This habit, developed in his youth, allowed him to accumulate the initial capital to found Standard Oil. His fortune wasn't built on a stroke of luck, but on thousands of small, deliberate savings decisions. If you can't save 10%, start with 1%. Then 5%. First, eliminate consumer debt, credit cards. Second, implement the 24-hour rule: before buying something non-essential, wait 24 hours. In 90% of cases, the need will disappear. Third, change want to need on your shopping list. The goal isn't to be poor, but to be temporarily frugal in order to be permanently wealthy. If you think you can't save today, it's because your current standard of living is too high for your income level. The solution: live like a student so that tomorrow you can live like a king. If you agree that discipline is the foundation of wealth, like this video right now. YouTube's algorithm rewards this kind of awareness, and that way we can share these secrets with more people who need them. Let's move on to the next habit. Saving is the fuel, but the next habit is the engine that transforms that fuel into a money-making machine. Habit number 2, invest wisely in assets. Saving for the sake of saving is condemning your money to slowly die from inflation. Simply saving doesn't build wealth. Only investing in assets, in things that put money in your pocket, can do that. Jews understand the basic concept of management, using savings to acquire assets that generate cash flow, whether in the medium or long term. This habit is instilled in childhood. In Jewish communities, children are integrated into the tasks of family businesses from a very young age. They learn early on about money management, the concept of hard work, and, crucially, the concept of investing. These children develop invaluable skills that most people only acquire, if at all, in adulthood. This gives them a competitive advantage of decades. The impact of World War II was brutal. The Jews who managed to survive and provide for their families did so, in many cases, because they had the capital available to buy their freedom or bribe the generals. This ingrained in our culture the idea that money isn't just a luxury, it's a life insurance policy and a survival tool in times of crisis. That's why investing isn't a hobby, it's a mission. If you didn't receive this education at home, you must compensate for the lack. First step, training. Invest in yourself. Take business courses, learn basic accounting, and explore the stock market. Second step, start small. You don't have to buy a building. Begin with ETFs, exchange-traded funds, or by investing in your own knowledge. Third step, automate. Set up your account so that a percentage of your salary is automatically invested before you can spend it. Remember the mindset, money should work for you, not the other way around. If you invest $1,000 today in an asset that grows at 10% annually, in 7 years you'll have $2,000. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, and the Jewish people use it masterfully. This brings us to the third pillar, which is the foundation upon which investment and savings are built. A pillar that is not financial, but intellectual. Habit number 3, be cultured. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is the cornerstone of every Jew. It's not just about formal education, but about constant self-improvement. This important pillar is learned from a young age, not only in school, but also from texts like the Talmud, a compendium of laws, traditions, and rabbinical teachings that form the basis of Jewish thought and ethics. The statistics speak for themselves. In the United States, it is estimated that more than 87% of Jews attain a college education, a figure significantly higher than the average. For them, knowledge is not a luxury, it is power, a tool that translates directly into better life, professional, and, of course, financial decisions. A cultured investor doesn't follow trends, they follow data. Historically, in many diasporas, Jews were stripped of their material possessions or forbidden from owning land. What was the one thing no one could take from them? Their knowledge and their intellect. This fostered a deep appreciation for education and intelligence as the only truly inalienable and transferable possession. That's why they excel in fields like medicine, law, physics, and, of course, finance. No matter your social standing, make it your mission to learn. First step, strategic reading. Read for at least 30 minutes a day about your industry or finance. Second step, the mentoring network. Seek out someone wiser than you and learn from their mistakes. Third step, learn to code. You don't have to be an expert, but understanding the fundamentals of technology puts you ahead of the curve. The more knowledge you possess, the better decisions you'll make and the less you'll depend on luck. Knowledge is the new capital. Habit number 4, be an entrepreneur, not an employee. This habit is almost synonymous with being Jewish. The Talmud values men who are capable of protecting and providing for their families in a prosperous and secure home. This almost always requires being your own boss, an entrepreneur, not an employee tied to someone else's salary cap. Jewish history fosters economic independence. For centuries, the people were expelled and forced to move. If you depended on a single employer or on the land, you lost everything. Entrepreneurship, commerce, and banking were mobile businesses, resistant to persecution. This mindset of resilience and self-sufficiency was internalized as a core value. The figures we mentioned, Zuckerberg, Brin, Page, didn't wait until adulthood. They became entrepreneurs at a very young age. Their upbringing, forged in discipline and a long-term vision, instilled in them the value of creating value rather than simply exchanging time for money. True wealth lies in controlling your own income streams. If you're ready to take control of your financial destiny and stop being an employee, subscribe to our channel now and turn on notifications. We only share content that empowers you, and you won't want to miss our next video on how to choose the right business idea. Practical tips for starting a business with calculated risk. First step, the side hustle. Don't quit your job immediately, but start dedicating your evenings and weekends to your project. This minimizes risk. Second step, find a painful problem. Great businesses solve real problems. What hurts your community? Third step, fail fast, learn faster. The Jewish people don't fear failure because every failure is a valuable lesson that brings them closer to success. The goal is for your business to serve you, not the other way around. Start a business at a young age, or as soon as you can, and the architecture of your financial future will change radically. Habit number 5, create strong networks. Individual success is a fantasy. Sustainable success is built in community. Jews are not just people who profess a religion, they are an immensely powerful network of contacts. They understand that trust is the most valuable asset in a business. This network allows them to operate at a level of efficiency that most cannot match. They can lend money to each other without resorting to banks and their high interest rates. They can agree on deals, leases, and loans with a simple handshake, without having to declare every transaction to the tax authorities or go through tedious bureaucracy. This system of mutual support is sometimes called family or private investment societies. They create investment funds among themselves, often keeping these businesses out of the public eye, operating as an extended family business. This generates greater wealth at a faster pace than the common method for entrepreneurs, acquiring bank debt, signing high-risk contracts, and taking out expensive loans. The George Soros story. The legendary investor didn't just rely on his intellect, his career took off largely thanks to his family's connections in the financial world and his ability to build powerful alliances with other financiers and bankers. He understood that the big leagues are played as a team. If you weren't born into a circle of entrepreneurs, you have to create one. First step, the Value Conference. Attend entrepreneur fairs, business conferences, or seminars. Don't just listen, speak up. Ask intelligent questions. Second step, the value you give. Don't ask, offer. Ask a contact, how can I help you? Give value first, and reciprocity will follow. Third step, the power of Shabbat. Disconnect digitally and connect humanly. Invite contacts for coffee. Deepen the relationship. Your network is your net worth. Your success will be determined by the quality of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. If this video has opened your eyes and you believe this information is useful, share it with the most entrepreneurial person you know. Together, we can build a network of people who apply these 5 powerful Jewish habits. We've broken down the code. The 5 habits aren't exclusive to any one religion, they are universal principles of prosperity and resilience. They are: 1. Live frugally. 2. Invest in assets. 3. Be cultured, knowledge is power. 4. Be entrepreneurial, and 5. Build strong networks. In closing, let me quote Israeli entrepreneur Errol Marglit: "An immigrant is a person without money in search of opportunity, and a nation of immigrants is a nation of entrepreneurs." That's what makes the Jewish people a nation of entrepreneurs. It's not where you were born, but the mindset you adopted. Don't just settle for knowledge. Choose one of these habits today. Are you going to start living on 5% less of your income? Are you going to start reading about investing? Leave us a comment about which of the 5 habits you'll apply first and why. If you found this content helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Your success is our success. See you in the next video.